Dear students, today we shall discuss the chemical properties of alkynes. So, in our previous video, we have seen what are alkynes, what is the geometry of alkynes, how we can prepare alkynes, how to name alkynes, what are the physical properties of alkynes, right? So, in today's class, we shall see the chemical properties of alkynes. So, the first chemical property is acidity of alkynes. You see, acidity means generally we call acids as carboxylic acids, RCOOH. These compounds are called acids. But so there are some other molecules which also have little acidic property. Say for example, phenol. Phenol has little acidic property. Even alcohols, they also have slight acidic property. In the same way, alkynes also has little acidic property. What is the reason why alkynes are acidic in the nature? It is because of its sp hybridization. You see, alkynes involve in sp hybridization. What is the difference between sp3, sp2 and sp hybridization? You see, alkanes involve in sp3 hybridization, alkenes involve in sp2 hybridization, alkynes involve in sp hybridization. So, in the case of sp3 hybridization, S character is just 25%. You see, there are 4 hybrid orbitals, one is s orbital, remaining 3 are p orbitals. So, out of 100%, s property is only 25%. If you look into sp2 hybridization, there are 3 hybrid orbitals, one is s, remaining 2 are p orbitals. So, percentage of s property is 33% in the case of sp2 hybridization. But in the case of sp hybridization, there are only 2 hybrid orbitals, one is s, another one is p orbital, right. So, percentage of s character is 50% in the case of sp hybridization. What happens if there is a change in s character? So, you have studied about the penetration power of different orbitals. We have 4 important orbitals, they are s, p, d and f. Among these 4 orbitals, the penetration power of orbitals towards the nucleus is in this order. S orbital has maximum penetration power towards the nucleus, then comes p, then comes d, and least penetration power is for f orbital. So, s orbital has maximum penetration towards the nucleus. What it means? S orbital is closer to the nucleus. If s orbital is closer to the nucleus, the electron present in s orbital will be closer to the nucleus. So, in the case of alkynes, it involves in sp hybridization. So, s character is maximum. So, the electron present in sp hybrid orbital is more closer to the nucleus. Nucleus means here the atom is carbon. So, the sp hybridized orbital is more closer to carbon atom. The electron present in the orbital is more closer to carbon atom. So, in this CH bond, of course, bond means you know it is a sharing of 2 electrons. These 2 electrons are more closer to carbon atom. Reason is it is involved in sp hybridization. It has maximum s character. So, it is acting as more electronegative carbon atom. So, these 2 electrons are more closer to carbon atom. As a result, this hydrogen experience electron deficiency. The moment it experiences electron deficiency, we write delta positive charge on carbon and hydrogen delta negative charge on carbon atom. Since it gets delta positive charge on hydrogen, it acts as acid. So, the actual reason for acidity of alkyne is it involves in sp hybridization, has maximum S character, hence it is more electronegative in nature. Carbon is more electronegative in nature. As a result, the CH bond pair of electrons are more attracted towards carbon, hence hydrogen experience electron deficiency, hence it acts as acid. So, once it acts as acid, it reacts with the base to form corresponding salt. So, let us take example as a sodium base. When ethine reacts with the sodium, it forms corresponding salt. Sodium ethine is formed. In the same way, ethine is treated with sodamide, another stronger base. We get again the same salt. So, these two reactions indicate that the hydrogen attached to this alkyne is acidic in nature. But this kind of a salt cannot be formed when we treat ethine with ordinary bases like NaOH. If you add NaOH, no salt formation takes place. It means the acidity of this proton is less, so it cannot be removed by ordinary base. So, to remove this weak acidic proton, a stronger base like sodium or sodamide is required. Okay. So, you can conclude that acidity of ethine is less, though it is little acidic in nature. Okay. So, that is our first chemical property. Let us see other chemical properties of alkyne. Another important property is addition reaction. You see, alkynes have unsaturated bonds, unsaturation bond. The moment when a compound has pi bond, it undergoes addition reaction. So, you have seen several addition reaction even in the case of alkene, and same type of reactions can also be taking place with the alkynes. Now, question comes, alkene has only one pi bond, alkyne has two pi bonds. So, which could be more reactive towards addition reactions? So, generally we think that alkyne has two pi bonds, so it should be more reactive towards addition reaction. But alkenes are more reactive towards addition reaction, alkynes are less reactive. The reason is alkenes involve in sp2 hybridization, alkynes involve in sp hybridization. So, in the case of sp hybridization, carbon is more electronegative. As a result, these pi electrons are more tightly held by carbon atom. It means pi electrons are not readily available for addition reaction. So, if they are not readily available, addition reaction becomes a little difficult. Therefore, alkenes are more reactive towards addition reaction compared to alkynes. But still, addition reaction takes place just like alkenes. So, let us see different addition reactions. The first one is addition of hydrogen. Second one is addition of halogens. Halogens means a chlorine molecule, bromine molecule, etc. Third one is addition of hydrogen halide, say for example HBr. Fourth one is addition of water. Fifth one, polymerization. So, these addition reactions we have to discuss for alkynes. So, first one, addition of hydrogen. You have studied addition of hydrogen to alkenes. When hydrogen is added to alkene, it gives corresponding alkane. In the same way, alkynes also react with hydrogen. So, one molecule of hydrogen will be added across the triple bond, we get corresponding alkene. And you know alkene also undergo addition reaction. So, again it reacts with one more molecule of hydrogen to give corresponding alkane. So, alkyne undergo addition reaction with hydrogen to give alkene, and later another addition reaction takes place to give alkane. But you know, in your alkene chapter, you have studied that alkyne can be converted into two types of alkenes. One is cis alkene, another one is a trans alkene. How can you convert? Say for example, I will take this alkyne, non-terminal alkyne. It is a 2-butyne. If you treat with hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst like nickel, palladium or platinum, any catalyst you can use. In such case, we end up with the corresponding alkene, and finally this alkene is converted into alkane. But if the same addition reaction is carried out in the presence of certain catalyst, say for example, addition reaction is carried out in the presence of palladium and barium sulfate, then we get a cis alkene. What do you mean by cis alkene? Two similar groups are on the same side of a double bond, then it is called cis isomer. So, here alkene has two similar groups on the same side, hence it is called cis alkene. So, this reaction condition, hydrogen in the presence of palladium and barium sulfate, is called Lindlar's catalyst. So, when alkyne is treated with hydrogen in the presence of palladium and barium sulfate, we get cis alkene. It will not undergo further reduction to alkane. In the same way, if this alkyne is treated with hydrogen in the presence of sodium and liquid ammonia medium, then we get corresponding trans alkene. So, alkyne undergo hydrogenation in the presence of sodium and liquid ammonia, we get a trans alkene. So, this reaction condition is called Birch reduction. So, in the absence of a catalyst, alkynes undergo hydrogenation to give alkene and later to alkane. But in the presence of suitable catalyst, we can convert alkyne into corresponding cis alkene and also corresponding trans alkene. So, in the presence of Lindlar's catalyst, alkyne undergo reduction to cis alkene. In the presence of Birch reduction condition, alkyne undergo reduction to trans alkene. So, this is something about hydrogenation reaction. So, reaction with hydrogen. Okay. So, now let us see the second addition reaction, that is with halogen. So, we have different types of halogens: chlorine, bromine, fluorine, iodine, etc. So, reaction with chlorine or bromine we shall see now. Let us take bromine. Okay. So, ethine reacts with bromine to give what? The same kind of reaction we have discussed in alkene also. So, alkene reacts with bromine to give corresponding dihaloalkane. In the same way, alkyne also reacts with the bromine to give corresponding dihaloalkenes. This alkene has again an unsaturated bond. So, one more molecule of halogen undergo addition across this double bond to give tetrahaloalkane. Tetrahaloalkane. So, we have 2 pi bonds, therefore, 2 addition reactions takes place, double addition reaction takes place. In the first case, alkyne converts into dihaloalkene. This dihaloalkene again undergo addition to give tetrahaloalkane. So, now we shall see the third molecule, that is hydrogen halide. How does alkyne reacts with hydrogen halide? So, now I will take this alkyne, a substituted alkyne, it is a propyne. So, propyne reacts with the HBr to give what? So, now question comes, you see HBr has 2 different atoms, one is hydrogen, another one is bromine. If hydrogen is added to this carbon and Br to the terminal carbon, the product is CH3, CH double bond CHBr. If Br add to this carbon and hydrogen to terminal carbon, then the product is CH3, CBr double bond CH2. 2 possible products. Now, question is, which is the actual product obtained during this addition reaction? So, addition of heteronuclear diatomic molecule across the multiple bond follows one rule. It is called Markovnikov rule. Okay. So, what it says, Markovnikov rule? It says, during the addition of heteronuclear diatomic molecule across the multiple bond, the negatively charged adding group goes to carbon containing least number of hydrogen. So, in this HBr, hydrogen has a positive charge, Br has a negative charge. So, negatively charged Br should goes to carbon containing least number of hydrogen. So, here this carbon has no hydrogen, this carbon has 1 hydrogen. So, least number of hydrogen means the middle carbon atom to which Br should be attached. Therefore, the actual product is this one where Br is attached to carbon containing least number of hydrogen. Again, this molecule has one more pi bond. So, one more molecule of HBr adds across the double bond to give corresponding alkane. Again, you have to see where exactly Br goes, whether to this carbon or to this carbon. Again, you should follow the same rule called Markovnikov rule. So, what it says, the negatively charged Br should goes to carbon containing least number of hydrogen. So, therefore, the next product is CH3, C, Br comes on the same carbon atom. So, terminal carbon becomes CH3. So, it is converted into corresponding 2,2 dibromopropane, 2,2 dibromo. So, if you number it, it is 1, 2, 3. On a second carbon atom, we have dibromo group. Okay. So, if you start from ethine, there is no any problem because both side it is identical group. So, H can attach to this carbon or this carbon, you will get the same product. But if you start from propyne, now it is unsymmetrical alkyne. In such case, negatively charged group will goes to carbon containing least number of hydrogen according to Markovnikov rule. So, we get this alkene and finally, we end up with the corresponding dihaloalkane. Okay. So, this is addition of hydrogen halide. Next, fourth addition reaction, that is addition of water. So, how does water adds across the multiple bond, triple bond of alkyne. The same type of addition reaction takes place. So, I will take ethyne as example. Water will add across the triple bond. Again it follows the same rule called Markovnikov rule. So, water has two groups, one is H plus, another one is OH minus. So, negatively charged group means it is OH minus. So, this negatively charged group should attach into carbon containing least number of hydrogen. So, in this case it is identical, two carbons are identical. So, you will get the same product, whatever may be the hydroxy group, it may be on first carbon atom or second carbon atom, we get the same product, this product we get. But it is called ene. So, double bond is called ene and OH group is called al. Alcohol alle last again bartade suffix alcohol alli OL anta bartade alva. So, it is ene plus al. So, that is why this molecule is called enol group. Enol group. So, this group, enol group, immediately undergoes a tautomerism to give corresponding carbonyl group. So, carbonyl group is CHO group, CH3 CHO group. So, it is called keto or carbonyl group. This interconversion is called keto enol tautomerism. So, what do you mean by tautomerism? You know the concept called resonance. So, in the resonance what happens? There will be flow of pi electron along the carbon chain. But in the case of tautomerism, it is extension of resonance. Here, there is a flow of pi electron along with the migration of one proton. So, if there is a flow of only electron, then it is called resonance. If there is a flow of electron along with the proton, then it is called tautomerism. So, here I will write the exact structure. So, CH2 double bond CH OH, it is enol. Now, what happens? Oxygen has lone pair of electron, it moves here. So, double bond shift on the carbon atom. So, what happens now? CH2 group gets electron, therefore, it becomes negative. So, double bond is converted into single bond CH. Here already we have single bond, because of the movement of lone pair of electron, now we get double bond and lone pair is donated by oxygen, hence it should be positively charged. So, this structure is called resonance structure. Why it is called resonance? Because there is no migration of any atom, only here migration of electron takes place. So, if there is a shift of electron across the carbon chain, then it is called resonance. Now, after this resonance structure, you can also see one more migration of a proton. You see, this CH2 group has a negative charge, it takes the acidic proton present on oxygen. Ultimately, this OH bond breaks, so it donates its electron to electron deficient oxygen. As a result, what happens? This CH2 minus gets a proton, so it converts into CH3. We have single bond CH. Over the carbon, we have double bond along with the oxygen. So, it is converted into a carbonyl group. Carbonyl group. So, enol is converted into a carbonyl group. Generally, in the tautomerism, it is called keto group. Why keto group? Because if you have any substituent over this carbon, then it is a keto molecule. Keto molecule. Therefore, in general, it is called keto group. It may be a keto or an aldehyde group. So, this type of interconversion takes place from an enol to carbonyl group, and it is called keto enol tautomerism. So, only one molecule of water adds across the triple bond to give an enol, which immediately undergo tautomerism to give corresponding carbonyl group. Now, I will take substituted alkyne. Substituted alkyne. If you add water, now addition follows Markovnikov rule. So, water has two groups, H plus, OH minus. So, negatively charged OH minus should attach to carbon containing least number of hydrogen. So, therefore, it will convert into CH3, COH, triple bond becomes double bond and hydrogen is attached to this carbon atom. So, it is CH2. Again it is enol, en plus all enol. So, now this enol undergo tautomerism to give CH3, CO, CH3. It is called keto group. Keto group. So, here only one molecule of water is added across the multiple bond according to Markovnikov rule, followed by keto enol tautomerism, we get corresponding carbonyl group. So, this is addition of water across the triple bond of alkynes. Now, we shall discuss the last reaction of alkynes, that is polymerization reaction. Polymerization reaction. So, alkyne undergo two types of polymerization. One is linear polymerization. Second one is cyclic polymerization. Cyclic polymerization. What is the difference? Linear means the monomeric units should join to form a linear molecule. Cyclic polymerization means monomeric units join to form a cyclic molecule. Okay. So, first we shall see linear polymerization. So, here ethyne join with number of such ethyne molecules. I will take it as N. N means large number of ethyne molecules to give corresponding polymer. How does polymerization takes place? So, you know ethyne has multiple bond, triple bond. Now, one of the pi bond attacks on neighboring ethyne molecule. As a result, this pi bond attacks on next ethyne molecule. As a result, it will attack on next ethyne molecule and so on. So, by this way, one ethyne molecule join with another one, which again join with the third one. Likewise, we get a macromolecule called polymerized molecule. So, the structure is CH, triple bond is converted into double bond. Now, this carbon is attached to another molecule. So, we get a single bond between these two carbon atoms. So, now triple bond is converted into double bond. Again, there is a new bond between these two carbon atoms. So, this triple bond is converted into double bond likewise. So, ultimately you can see there is double, single, double, single, double, likewise bonds. So, the general structure you can write double, single, double, single, likewise. So, this is the simplest structure of this linear polymer of ethyne. It is called polyethylene. Polyethylene, or common name is polyacetylene. Polyacetylene. So, in this polyacetylene we have conjugated double bonds. Double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond. Such alternative single double bonds are called conjugated double bonds. So, these conjugated double bonds can conduct electricity. What is the reason? Because they have conjugated double bonds. So, because of resonance, these double bonds can travel from one side to another side along the carbon-carbon chain. So this bond can shift here, as a result this pi bond is shifted to next carbon. So likewise, the pi electrons can travel from one carbon to another carbon along the carbon chain length. So because of this travel of electron, it conducts electricity. So polyacetylene or polyethylene is used as electrodes in several industries. The reason is it conducts electricity. In the same way, ethane can also undergo cyclic polymerization. Say, I take 3 ethane molecules, okay. So if you pass ethane molecules over red hot iron tube at 873 Kelvin temperature, if you pass ethane gas over red hot iron tube at 873 Kelvin temperature, then it undergoes cyclic polymerization. So one of the pi bond attacks on neighboring ethane molecule. As a result, this pi electrons attacks on another molecule, so that cyclization takes place. So how many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 carbons in the cyclic ring. So we get this kind of a cyclic ring having 6 carbons. Between these 2 carbons, earlier we have 3 bonds. Now one bond is shifted. So we have only 2 bonds. Between these 2 carbons, a new bond is formed. So we have one single bond. Between these 2 carbons, double bond. Between these 2 carbon, new bond is formed. Between these 2 carbon, triple bond is converted into double bond. So we have alternative single double bonds. So this molecule is called benzene. So this reaction is very important for 2 marks. So question will be like this: how does ethane molecule undergo cyclic polymerization when it is passed through red hot iron tube? So when you pass ethane molecule on a red hot iron tube, it undergoes cyclic polymerization to give benzene molecule. It is the simplest aromatic molecule called benzene. Okay. So these are the some important chemical reactions of alkynes. Fine.